Hey there, welcome back to the channel. So, you're thinking about the housing market in 2025, huh? Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air right now. The market has been unpredictable in recent years, and with everything going on in the economy, it's tough to know what the right move is. Should you buy a home now? Should you wait? Should you sell your place before things change? And if you're renting, what should you be looking out for? Let's break it all down and figure out exactly what's going on with the housing market in 2025 and how you can make smart decisions in this environment. First things first, let's talk about the overall picture of the 2025 housing market. We've seen a lot of changes over the past few years. From record high home prices to rising interest rates, it's been a roller coaster ride. But as we enter 2025, what's the outlook? Will home prices keep going up? Will interest rates stay high? Or are we heading for a slowdown? Well, the truth is, there are a lot of factors at play, and it's still a bit of a mixed bag. One of the biggest questions on everyone's mind right now is whether the housing market is going to crash. We've seen housing bubbles in the past, and after what happened in 2008, people are understandably cautious. But, let's clear something up right away, most experts aren't predicting a full-blown crash. It's not 2008 again. We're seeing some signs of a slowdown in certain areas, but that doesn't mean you should be expecting fire sales across the board. So, should you buy in 2025? Let's start there. Let's talk first about buying, shall we? Buying a home in 2025 isn't the same as it was a few years ago, that's for sure. The big factor here is interest rates. Over the past year or so, central banks around the world have been raising interest rates to combat inflation. The good news is, we're seeing a bit of a plateau in interest rate hikes, but mortgage rates are still higher than they were during the pandemic. Higher mortgage rates mean higher monthly payments, which is a big deal if you're trying to budget for your new home. But here's the thing, interest rates aren't the only thing to consider when buying a house. You also have to think about home prices. In 2025, home prices are expected to stabilize in many areas. They've been climbing for years, but we're starting to see them level out. In some markets, you might even see modest price drops, especially in places that saw the most rapid appreciation during the pandemic. So, if you're looking to buy, there may be some opportunities to get in at a more reasonable price. But, and this is a big but, the housing market is local. What happens in one city or state may be totally different from what's going on in another. For example, home prices in some tech hubs like San Francisco or New York may still be high, while smaller cities or rural areas may offer more affordable options. It's all about doing your research and knowing the market conditions in your specific area. If you're ready to buy, don't let higher mortgage rates scare you off completely. Sure, your monthly payments might be higher, but if you plan on staying in the home for a while, those higher rates could be worth it. And who knows? If inflation continues to cool off, there's always the chance that mortgage rates could come down a bit in the future. The key is making sure you can afford the payments and that you're not stretching yourself too thin. Another thing to keep in mind is the inventory of homes on the market. There's still a shortage of homes in many areas, which can make buying competitive. If you're looking for something specific, you may find yourself in bidding wars or dealing with limited choices. That's why it's super important to work with a knowledgeable real estate agent who can help you navigate this. Alright, now let's talk about selling. If you're thinking of selling your home in 2025, what should you expect? Well, again, it depends on where you are. In some areas, especially those that experienced explosive growth in the past few years, you might be able to sell for a nice profit. But in other places, where prices are leveling off or even dipping slightly, it might not be the best time to cash out, at least not for the price you were hoping for. One thing that's pretty clear is that selling in a high-rate environment can be tricky. Why? Because if you sell your home and plan to buy another, you'll face those same higher mortgage rates. So, unless you're downsizing or moving to a lower cost area, your new home could end up costing more per month than what you're paying now. If you're already settled in a place with a low mortgage rate, it might not make sense to sell unless you absolutely need to move. That said, if you're selling in a seller's market, where there are more buyers than available homes, you could still get a good price for your property. But, just like buying, selling is really about timing and location. Make sure to evaluate the market in your area carefully and talk to a local real estate expert to get a sense of where prices are headed. Now, let's talk about renting. With the housing market being so unpredictable, renting might seem like the safest bet for some of you. So, is renting in 2025 a good option? Let's break it down. Renting can definitely be a smart choice in certain situations. First, if you're not ready to commit to a long-term home or you're in an area where prices are just too high, renting can give you flexibility. You won't have to worry about maintenance or sudden price changes, and you can move around more easily if your job or lifestyle changes. Plus, renting doesn't tie up your money and property, so you have more cash flow for other investments or savings. But, here's the catch: rents have been rising in many parts of the country. So, while renting can offer flexibility, it's important to factor in that rental prices may still be high in 2025. If you're in a competitive rental market, you might find yourself paying a premium for even a modest apartment. Also, consider the opportunity cost of renting. While you won't be building equity like homeowners, you also won't have to deal with the hassle and costs of maintenance or property taxes. But at the end of the day, renting is just paying someone else's mortgage. It's not building your own wealth in the same way homeownership does. What to expect for the 2025 housing market? So, what does the future of the housing market look like in 2025? It's a bit of a mixed bag, depending on where you live and what your goals are. We're seeing stabilization in home prices, but interest rates are still a factor that will affect affordability. If you're looking to buy, you might find opportunities in areas where prices have cooled off, but you'll have to contend with higher mortgage rates. For sellers, it might be a good time if you're in a seller's market, but don't forget that moving up in a high-rate environment could be costly. And for renters, the market is still competitive, but renting offers flexibility without the long-term commitment. In the end, the decision to buy, sell, or rent depends on your personal circumstances. The key is to assess your financial situation, think about your long-term goals, and really understand the local market conditions in your area. If you're unsure, consider talking to a financial advisor or a real estate professional who can help you make the right move. So, what do you think? Are you planning to buy, sell, or rent in 2025? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on navigating the housing market and making smart financial decisions. I'll see you in the next video.